Everybody, we are live. And John Fitch and I, sorry, I tried to play it because I scheduled it for 2:00. But anyway, it doesn't fucking matter. John Fitch and I were geeking out about a whole bunch of stuff before this, and I was like, dude, this combo is too good to not get on the air. So welcome to your weekly dose of conspiracy theories
endgame conspiracies.
Oh man.
Feds are coming.
First and foremost, I already showed John Fitch this, but I just wanted to make an announcement early on the show. There we go. That's my announcement today for this show. It's why I'm wearing this amazing tank top on top of showing off the fucking only weapons that I have here in the Corey household. Yeah, exactly. That's what John Fitch and I were talking about before this. If only we had the smarts before this to be able to practice our constitutional right here in California to acquire weapons. Did you hear about that shit, dude? They're fucking closing down gun stores, saying it is non-essential items.
Yeah, I read that was happened in Fresno. They were banning ammo and gun sales. Around here, some of my friends that went to get ammo, they had to have their registered federal ID, whatever, the new thing you're supposed to have. You have to have that or your birth certificate. So our friend had to go back home and get his birth certificate. And then you have to have the paperwork for your registered gun to buy ammo for it.
And to think that there's people out there that think this is all naturally just, coincidental, and this isn't orchestrated in a way to start removing fucking people's constitutional rights. Now, John and I were talking about some scary ass shit before coming on the air. Like I said, I can when I start wandering down the rabbit hole of this stuff, I can't. There's a sense of fear for sure, right? You're like, holy shit, because there's some things that are like so out there that you could get into where it's like I'm not gonna have any control over that. Like one thing, for instance, that John and I were talking about, there's always been talk that they're going to bring in the blue helmets, right? The UN to like walk on our fucking territory and go door to door.
FEMA's going to show up.
FEMA camps and all that shit. But the scariest one that we just talked about was a fucking droid army.
The robots.
Fucking robots. What if they got robots?
Because I think that's what'll happen is they will roll out because they got those dogs, the dog ones, the 4-legged ones. They use them as carriers. So they're gonna roll them out using that, sending out medical teams to check people at home. So nobody, they're like, oh, we figured out a cheap, convenient test. We're gonna come to you, stay home. So they're gonna get everybody used to seeing these people in their hazmat suits and these fucking dogs walking around. They're gonna normalize it, and then they're gonna get a checklist. They're gonna get when they're doing the checks and they're giving you the vaccine or whatever. They're scanning your house. They're looking at your house. They're seeing how many people are there, what kind of food you got. They'll see if you got guns.
No.
Right. So then when they come back, everybody's like, oh, yeah, the doctors are coming back again. They'll have little mini guns strapped to the back of those dogs.
That's fucking creepy. That's like super Orwellian for sure. You've seen that fucking Black Mirror episode, right?
Which one? I haven't seen all of them because that show's like a head fuck. Like every time I watch
the one with the dog,
I feel
the
funny.
One with the fucking robot dogs.
Oh, I don't think I saw the robot.
Oh, dude, you need to go and watch that episode right after this. Exactly like what you're talking about. It's like apocalyptic, like an apocalyptic, like end of the world scenario, and they got these fucking robot dogs that can like shoot fucking poison darts at you and shit.
Oh Jesus, that's what we need.
Yeah, exactly. What do we got here?
Yes.
The God 720 spoke on this. It's all in a book called Wired for War. Crazy. Have you heard of that book?
I have not.
Shoot laser freaking head.
Oh Jesus.
So
there was somebody sent me, one of my listeners from my podcast sent me a link to a Dean Koontz book, which in the book he talks about a strand of COVID-19
Wuhan 400.
Yeah,
1989 or something like that.
Yeah, it came out like 94, 96, some shit like that.
I think it was 89.
89, really? Jesus.
Yes. Fuck, I forgot the name of the book, but I looked it up. Crap. Yeah, maybe I could find it right now. Let's see
But
how fast I
it was that's pretty creepy. And then you've got, Bill
Yeah, they
Gates.
don't take anything
Some
like
of the
they
talks that
allow these
what's his
people to
name is
write
having
stuff and then they
is it what's his name? Is it Bill Gates
keep going.
doing
Yeah.
all the
Fuck,
talks
I can't
about
read this shit on my phone.
diseases spreading and shit?
Yeah, he's been talking about this for years.
Yeah.
He's been saying that the thing that's going to take us over is what's it called? A pandemic, right? Like we're not prepared enough for this and all this other stuff. Facebook CEO, whatever his name is, he's on board with Bill Gates with all this shit. Like if people don't
All
buy
this
into this
Bilderberg
globalist
stuff.
yeah, if people don't buy into this globalist stuff, like there's a plan. They're executing it right now as we speak. And what I'm seeing and what I'm trying to see is obviously, people throw out the whole thing about the Georgia Guidestones, how they're trying to depopulate the planet down to 500 million. Or sorry, yeah, it's 500. Is it 500 million or 500? Yeah, I think it's 500 million is what the Georgia Guidestones say in order to have the balance here on Earth and all this other stuff. And they're obviously trying to do that, but then also remain like the kings of this new population that's going to be their serfs.
Yeah.
Right.
So on top.
Yeah, exactly. I know his name. I wasn't going to say it on air because I don't fucking whatever. I'm making meats. Fucking dude is so weird. He's definitely a lizard person.
I know. I like playing these conspiracy theories too, but there's also a very large chance that there's just a lot of bumbling idiots put in position of trust and power, and we somehow think they're not a regular person who fucks up all the time or is lazy or got lucky in getting the position they're in. I think there could be quite a bit of that also. That might be closer to the truth, but something in
Looking for
between
that
too.
book. It's something shadows or something like that. Why do you post so much? God damn it.
Kuckerberg.
Yeah, right. I can't pull it up right now. But yeah, that's a crazy part too, is that there's a lot of different theories out there, obviously having to do with consciousness, that people say that life is stranger than fiction. But people talk about how like these fictional books are actually like different dimensions that have actually already played out. And that when people create these types of things, they're actually tapping into that dimension and taking the story from that, what's it called? And then we're putting it into practice here, right? Putting it in the consciousness bubble here. So what they're saying is like having these types of sci-fi stories and all this other stuff now enters like a consciousness bubble of our reality and can affect and can have some type of way of playing out within our reality. And then they also talk about it too, where these globalists borrow from those types of things and then actually turn them into realities. How strange is that?
It's interesting. I think it's
I know.
also, I don't know. Humans are also so similar that we recognize the same patterns, have similar thoughts, similar feelings, and I don't know.
Everyone
That's why
keeps saying this is reminding them of the movie Contagion. I've been wanting to watch it, but I'm like, I also don't want to go and wander down that rabbit hole. So like, here's what it comes down to with a lot of people. A lot of people get scared and they look at this stuff, and like the other day. So I was out the other day.
it's out of your control.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really out
Well,
of
the
your
other
control.
thing too is this.
Prepare the best you can, but like, I mean, I'm laughing. I'm still drinking my coffee. I'll smoke a little weed. I'm gonna have a little bit of whiskey before I go to bed. Like my guns are packed and ready to go. Like I got my go bag set. I got, I did what I could.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're either gonna get things back to normal
Well,
or
what are your thoughts
it's
on the
gonna hit the
virus?
fan.
Like, and that's
It
what I'm
doesn't
saying. Is a
seem
lot of
like
people.
it seems like it's a major overreaction to the threat.
I
It
agree
doesn't
with that.
seem, yeah, but we don't really know what the threat is because we don't know if we're being told the truth about casualties. We don't know if China told us the truth. It looks like Iran is like pretty fucked up.
And Italy.
Yeah, Italy's having some issues too. Excuse me.
I think these
I
are.
mean,
I think
how
those are
much is
different.
that? How much is that because of what their infrastructure was before?
I'm gonna go deeper, dude. I'm gonna
Mm.
go deep. If you want me to go deep, I'm gonna go deep. I take it deep. I think that Italy strain and I think that Iran strain is something completely different. I think those were biological. I think those were actually, no kidding, bioweapons that were targeted towards those masses. I think,
Uh, I do that show, Mixed Mental or Mixed Martial Mindset with Jason Burmis, and he does a lot of this type of these type of conspiracy theory, and
dude,
he
I
was
didn't know who.
saying,
I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't know who Jason Burmis was up until like last week. Like I've heard you mention his name over and over,
Mhm.
but I didn't realize and I didn't know that he was the co-producer of Loose Change. Is that the
Yeah,
name of the
yeah,
documentary? I
yep,
didn't know how big of a player he was in this world.
yeah.
Someone mentioned, oh, I was watching Dollar Vigilante and he talked about Jason Burmis and Loose Change. And I was like, no shit. John Fitch does a fucking show with Jason Burmis every fucking week.
Hmm.
So then I looked up the documentary. I tried to watch it. I was only able to watch the last one. That's the only one I could find for free. That's fucking crazy, dude. I didn't know that.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
epic.
he
Yeah.
was saying that there are two strands that were
Mhm.
released. He said the first one was over a year ago, and a lot of us probably would have had it. We probably could had it this last year if we thought we had the flu. It was
Yep.
probably
Yep.
that
Yep.
it was probably that weaker version of the Wuhan virus, but
Hmm.
not everybody got it. So when everybody had got it and enough people built up an immunity to it, they then released the really bad one. So then a smaller percentage of the people don't have the immunities yet. So a lot of people will die, but a small percentage of them, but it'll be just enough to like scare the shit out of people.
Sure. Well, this is what I'm seeing is the one in Iran was obviously targeted at people that were part of that central government, right? Why is it only attacking? There was something that was released in the
Well,
vicinity of these
if
key people,
they weren't exposed to the weak strand, when the strong strand got to those people, it was going to hit them hard.
for sure. Well, so I think that was obviously an attack by these globalists to destabilize the infrastructure of Iran. The next thing is this. This is what I just learned about Italy. So I learned that Italy has the highest per capita rate of multi-generational people living together.
Mm.
So what does that mean? Well, it means that people
Young people brought it back to their older
well, no,
relatives.
no, 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 no. Hear me out on the from an economical standpoint. It means that mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, kids, and then the next generation that those kids are going to have are all living under the same roof, which means what? Well, ideally, what a capitalist is wanting is they're wanting grandma and grandpa to be in their own house, mom and dad to have their own house, children to have their own house, not that they're old enough, and then run things that way, which means what for bankers? Well, that means that all of
More
those people
loans.
are going to exactly, exactly, exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. So why not release something that because people are living in such close proximity and they take out the elderly, right? It now makes people right because the younger generation right now they're going out and they're still partying and doing all sorts of different stuff,
Mhm.
and then they're bringing it
Spring
back into the
break.
house.
Yeah.
Exactly,
Fuck
exactly, exactly.
yeah.
So
America.
it's a way to create a pattern so that these people are going to have to go out and separate and get their own what's it called? So renting market slash mortgage stuff. It's a way to gain more money through debt.
That's
Iran, I think,
yeah.
was just an attack
Awesome.
from, dare I say,
What
sure.
if it's just a weak
Go ahead.
flu type virus? It doesn't really kill
Mhm.
anybody, but the governments use it as an excuse to take out a bunch of dissenters.
That's what I'm saying.
What
It's
if they're
kind of
not?
funny
What
that
if
this
they're? What
started
if? Yeah,
happening. It's funny that this
it's
happened when they
odd. They
started
all have
detaining all these
bullet hole
people in
wounds to
Hong
the
Kong.
back of their head.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, mass graves. Like, what happened to all the people that they arrested and detained
Mass
during the Hong Kong
incinerations.
riots?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, they somehow they just died while they were incarcerated
All the
from this fucking
protesters
flu.
got sick and went
Yeah.
home.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I don't know. I watched a man, I don't know where I stand right now. And I'm gonna be honest. You know, I'm a fan of Trump because he's a masculine man, but I never fucking trust a politician, honestly. And that, you know, most people like him because he's quote unquote not a politician. But at the same time, too, I'm starting to see these things being rolled out of where they're gonna start handing out $1,000 to fucking people and all this other shit. And it's like essentially what you're ushering in now is universal what's it called, income, right?
Socialism. Socialism.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
No,
So it's like,
that's no mistake. I think they just need to pause all payments, and then focus on getting opened up and back to business.
freeze mortgages.
Yeah.
Freeze mortgages. Yep. Freeze the mortgages.
Freeze mortgages, freeze rents. Like
Yep.
just
Yep.
chill. Tell the bankers to chill.
We don't need fucking checks being issued to us and all this other stuff that's going to make people go out and start raiding other people's mailboxes and all this other shit and hoarding things. Keep people responsible to their, like, just their base essential, what's it called? Like, let their money come in, let them stockpile their own money going to their own accounts as it is, and we go from there. We don't need checks from the government. I don't want to check from the government. I don't want to be on that nipple. I swear to God. And the other thing is, it's going to be very, very hard to pull that nipple away. Right, which is essentially what I think is going on. Once people become dependent on it,
oh yeah, like a certain
free. Guess what's going to
level
happen?
of people who's earning is qualifies them to get that $1,000 a month. Of course, they're gonna take that $1,000 a month, and they're not gonna. Why get a job if you can live off of $800 a month and then have $200 extra? Like why? You could have a bunch of people in the same house. There's ways to live cheap.
Yeah. Especially if your mortgage payments free or frozen and all that other stuff. Like, just take care of some basic bills, pay off your fucking credit card debts, right? What else are you going to need to do? I mean, it's not like you can really go out shopping for anything right now. We got fucking communism going on in our stores as it is. Empty fucking shelves, having to wait in line 6 feet apart from one another and all this other shit.
Well, I'm in Cal. I'm in San Jose, and there's definitely some spots that are empty, but like most of the stuff is getting restocked. I think those people who take the pictures of the empty shelves, I don't know, man, if that's just certain areas. But like, I feel like all the stores I've been to have been a pretty good amount of food.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. I'll tell you that much. Water's kind of hit hard, but there's always still some there.
There's a ton of
toilet paper,
vegan food. There's a ton of vegan and vegetarian food still sitting there.
Yep. But yeah, toilet paper and paper towels are probably the biggest hard.
That kind of screams that it's like a luxury. It's a luxury diet.
Veganism?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's entitled. You're 100% entitled when you have that shit.
Now that there's like things are real, we should probably get some eggs.
Things that are more calorie dense. Right? Like things that actually will bolster my immune system rather than these fucking yeah, absolutely. It's just like I did a show on Friday. There's an article out right now, and I've seen it happen numerous times of people bitching, but feminists are all pissed off because this pandemic is really ruining feminism, so they say. It's making women return home and having to take care of their kids. It's women having to actually start taking, we have to make a choice now of who the breadwinner is going to be. And obviously it's going to be the fucking man, right? It should be. Man, it's fucking so funny to see all this stuff go on. So like essentially nature has come in a way, even though this has been orchestrated, and started to put people back into traditional roles, I believe. So take that, feminism, you silly, stupid idiots. It's the same thing with being vegan and vegetarian. Like, guess what? Your nature's position. Yeah, exactly. Your nature is going to start kicking in and being like, oh shit, that was kind of nice that I got to play this little moral high ground for quite some time and pretend like I was fucking so high.
So the dating app game is going to change. You need to list your like resources. I
was about to do that.
I can start a fire from sticks. I can start a fire from sticks. I have 6 months of dry goods.
Yep. I was about to do that on fucking Tinder and Bumble yesterday.
2,000 rounds of ammo.
Yeah. I was just gonna be like, I'm the man that you want around during
Survivor.
This type of shit. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's great.
I know, I love it. I'm all about this shit. I think I also think this too, John. I think what's going on right now is they're boiling the water. Essentially, how do you boil a frog? You turn the water up, you turn the heat up slowly.
freaking people out a
I
little
think
bit.
essentially it's going to come down to everyone's going to be. So right now we're in a soft quarantine, right? Oh, like they're slowly reducing it instead of just like
Oh
ripping the
yeah,
band.
like have you seen the videos of the tanks and stuff rolling out, or
No, I haven't.
yeah, the Hummers that they're
Uh-huh.
passing by on the train?
Supply lines. Yep.
But the National Guard's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so National Guard's coming. We're going to be on more of a lockdown,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to be interesting. As I like, because I'm my biggest concern right now is because like I have split custody with my kids,
Mm-hmm.
so I have them right now. So like if they put some kind of lockdown and we're not allowed even to drop our kids off when I don't have them, that's some bullshit. If I can't go pick them up or some shit, like it's I
Mm-hmm.
hope they cut it off. I hope they cut it off when I have them.
Ah,
I'd rather them be with the parent that
can
can
actually survive this.
can survive and has
Yep.
has ammo. But man, yeah. So there's got to be a lot of other people who are in a similar situation.
Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is wild. I think that's going to happen. I think that we're going to be on a full quarantine within the next 2 weeks. Like, do not leave your house kind of deal. Can't drive around.
Well, we're
And then,
we're only allowed to go to the essential places up here right now.
yeah, like what though? Because we're on the same thing. I think
Hmm.
here in
Just
SoCal.
basically, gas and store.
Yeah, gas and store. You can get takeout food. That's about it. Kind of crazy. I
Hmm.
went and got my cheat meal yesterday. I got some pizza and I was all excited because I was like, I'm going to go in there and eat. And there's not going to be anybody there. And they're like,
I've-
nope, you got to take out. And I was like,
It's
fuck.
been a carbocalypse for
Yeah,
me.
right. Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so I gotta yeah.
You got to ease off the
I
carbs
end
right
up
now.
fasting like every other day because the night before I just destroyed some like goldfish or something.
Oh, dang. I don't keep, man, honestly, I don't keep any of that stuff in my house because I'm in the same
Gotta
boat.
feed the
I just
kids,
like,
dude. They
yeah, I
burn
feel
so much energy so fast. They just
you.
wrestle nonstop.
Yeah, right. Um, but here's my prediction though. I think
Jeez.
that the virus was just a means to usher this stuff in, but I think that the lights are going to go out. I think that there's going to be some type of thing where the grid goes out because that's the only way that they're going to cause some type of social unrest, like real social unrest. Think about that. If we're sitting here in quarantine for 1 month and we're all addicted to our lights being on and being able to cook and do all this other stuff and watch TikTok and
Well,
YouTube.
the first thing that happens and people should worry is when the internet goes.
Mm,
Like if they're planning to do something, that's first. We're gonna lose our 5G and whatever LTE coverage. We're gonna lose the internet. We're gonna then they'll start taking the rest of the utilities
yeah.
or rationing them. Probably ration. They'll ration. We'll get 30 minutes of internet and
Wow.
a day, and they'll make announcements.
Crazy. Yeah, I think some shit's gonna happen, dude.
And
I think that people need to be very, very aware that this is kind of the trajectory that it's gonna go. But at the same time, I think, I try to look at the silver lining and all this stuff. I think this is a tremendous lesson of what happens when you allow governments to grow out of control and you give your fucking sovereignty over to people that are criminals, essentially. And you think that people should take care of you, right? Like no one should no level of government should be there to take care of you whatsoever. You need to take care of you. You need to take care of your families.
that's
It's like
what
sometimes we got to learn the hard lessons in order to be
that's
like, oh
what
shit,
America was founded on, was
this whole idea of
individualism.
safety and comfort. Yeah, exactly.
That you could walk off into the wilderness and you could set up your own life and you know do as you please. Don't tread on anybody else.
Yeah.
We might be forced
Total
back into it. We might be forced back into it.
Well, I don't think these people are gonna win. I really don't. I think that they're gonna try. We're gonna learn some serious lessons from it, and I think something's gonna come about and happen to resituate it back to balance. But there's gonna be there's going to be a lot of casualties, and there's going to be some hard lessons learned for sure. Fuck, I had something I was going to bring up, but I totally forgot about it now. But that's essentially, like I said, that's essentially what I think is going to happen. When the lights go out, man, after that, there's going to be no hold barred whatsoever. Like, people are going to go out, they're going to start looting things. People are going to start, and that's why I don't think, we started to talk about like the deep craziness of like National Guard and military and maybe fucking robots and all that other stuff. I think that's too many resources invested. Why not just turn off the lights and let everybody else pretty much wipe themselves out? And then afterwards, you just restart society with far less people and stronger genetics. You know what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately, I think that's the best bet. That's what I foresee being the outcome here. I think.
No, I don't think they would waste. I don't think if we're going down that that dystopian future, if these overlords are that yeah, they're that bad. They're not going to leave. They're not going to give up free labor. They're not going to let people kill each other off. They're gonna capture and enslave and put you to work until you die. They're gonna. I think re-education camps and labor camps are more likely than an all-out battle. You're going to see insurgent groups fighting against them, rounding people up, but most people will probably go voluntarily.
Oh wow.
I mean, just look at the Nazis when they carted off the Jews. Like, they knew something was up. They still all
Happy
got on the
birthday, Jim
train.
Morgan. Happy birthday. Take care of yourself.
HBD.
HBD. If they try to do something, they will individualize everyone first, so you can't band together. It's the same shit they did to me when I was getting medically retired from the military. Fuck. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I had some dreams about boot camp last night. I had dreams that I went back to boot camp for some reason. It was super weird. It's like the drill instructors were being nice, and then we were given McDonald's for chow every day. And like, it was kind of hard, but not at the same time. Like, boot camp was just like completely watered down. I was like, yo, this sucks.
Well, they had to, didn't they? So they could get more people in, and because this next generation was a little bit softer, and then they had to make the girls able to get through it.
Oh yeah, that's. Well, Mothers of America stepped in during my time, and they started to do things like telling people and pretty much saying that, because we would chant "kill" a lot. Like after every response or something like that, like to get us motivated and stuff like that, we'd be like, "Kill!" Like, still do that to this day. Every once in a while, it's super fucking hilarious. Or when we're shooting our machine gun, they say that the best, what we call a ditty. A ditty is like a phrase that you use to kind of like cue things in your mind, right? So the best rate of fire for a machine gun burst is to say, "Die, motherfucker, die." And then, like, when I was going through MCT, which is Marine Combat Training, they were trying to change it and say, "Oh, because Mothers of America, we need to say things that are a little bit softer, like 'Run, Fuzzy Bunny, Run.'" It's like, it doesn't have the same impact at all. But it started to what's it called? It started to really get watered down as far as like what the drill instructors were able to do and what type of language we were able to use. So thank you, Mothers of America, again, feminizing the most masculine entities out there, the United States Marine Corps, who were trained to kill. So yeah.
Eliminate targets, hon. We don't like to say such
those are
loaded
people.
words.
Those are people. They have feelings. I don't know if you know this, but my channel is getting throttled hard right now. People aren't receiving notifications of me coming on
YouTube. I think a lot of people, I've noticed a lot from a lot of creators are mentioning that everything's getting throttled, especially if you're saying anything around the coronavirus at all.
Yeah. Why? I don't understand that.
You're not an approved source of information about that topic.
Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
So people aren't allowed to have opinions any longer. People
can't. Well,
create
you're not allowed to profit off of it, I guess. I don't know what the deal is. You're not allowed. Yeah, it's all part of the narrative control, I think.
Oh my god. Yeah, I've lost about half of my views. People aren't getting notifications that I'm coming on live any longer. People are being unsubscribed unwittingly from my channel, so on and so forth.
So you should probably give updates, whatever. Get people on your email list, and then and then send them your shows. You can put them all together in links once a
Yeah,
week or something.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Then people on the list will always get your stuff, even though they might not have gotten the notification.
This shit is fucking crazy so far. People are acting insane too. Like I said the other day, I was out. And
Dude,
I
the
was getting
stores are wild. People, the tension in the stores, man.
people's attention.
The tension. It's like,
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
oh,
exactly. Yeah, the tension is definitely palpable. Most people are scared, like very, very scared, and they're scared of like the unknown. And this little fucking creepy virus is amazing because people can't see it, touch it, feel it in a way. And in a way, you can really convince yourself that you're sick or you're going to get sick and you have no control over it. So, like yesterday, I was out at Sprouts, just picking up I drink Zevia. I like myself some Zevia. By the way, if you don't drink this, John Fitch, you should. It's fucking so good. Kind of like quells that kind of sweet tooth without having any calories and all that other stuff. And I was there, and there was a guy in front of me. So there's a woman, she was a super hippie, right? She's wearing shorts and her fucking keen fucking boots and some tie dye and all this other stuff. And there's a guy in front of me who didn't really speak much English, and he was sitting there and he was like bouncing back around, like kind of circling. And I was like, dude, are you in line? He's like, oh yeah, I'm in line. Like I was cutting in front of him because I didn't know what the fuck he was doing. I was getting annoyed. I was like, are you in line? He's like, yeah, I'm in line. He's like, but that lady up there. And she like looks back at me and she goes, yeah, like we're supposed to be social distancing. And it's like, this dude's like 12 feet away from her. She's like, it's something that we really should be practicing. Like looking at me like all serious and like scolding me because I was like trying to fucking stand in line and pay for my shit. And I look at her and I go, okay, lady. like in that essence, in
thanks,
that moment.
Karen. Thanks, Karen.
Yeah, exactly. In that moment, I just looked at her like, and I fucking sent the message like, you're being absurd. Shut the fuck up and get fucking going. It's something we really should be practicing. You know, they're the most useful idiots. These fucking Karens. They're so controlled by social contrivances and whatever fucking media tells them. And it's like I talked about this.
It's the feminine. It's the feminine that has no pushback anymore. There's nothing that pushes back on the feminine.
Well, here's the other thing is that the feminine is always going to be scared of something. They're always going to create fucking monsters out of.
And they over empathize with everything to the nth degree, like to where they sympathize with the serial killer.
Right. Yeah.
Well, he was misunderstood. He was abused as a child.
Right.
He raped and murdered 30 women. He was misunderstood. Like,
agreed. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And exactly, that's exactly my stance on
Dixon.
Adios. We'll see all of this be revamped afterwards. I truly believe that this is a blessing in disguise, that society will be recreated after this. Having us learned our lesson about allowing technocrats, corporations, and all that other stuff to overpower and overdominate a sovereign citizen.
I think, yeah, we've been convinced to restrain our masculinity. And
that's true too.
And because there's been no one being masculine and no masculine leaders to like push through the feminine absurdity. We're in this situation. I think a lot of guys have probably woken up and be like, all right, no, we're not doing that again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happens. That's what happens when you allow the feminine to influence society. And this is why I talk about it. I talk about it in my book. Let women remain in their power position of being mothers and nurturers to children. That's their number one primary role. Why is that? Well, and I talk about this quite a bit. Women don't know where resources come from because resources just emerge in front of them. Because why? Because most men are just like, oh, here you go. That's kind of like our social contract, right? So women, especially in their youth, because they're approaching that time frame by which we want to fucking get to the eggs, they've been spoiled. They literally think everything is the lottery. Like, this is why we're debt-based society right now, because it's like, oh, someone else will pay for that later on. No big deal. We can just keep going deeper and deeper into debt, because they don't understand where money comes from. They don't understand how hard it is to work in order to gain and garner those resources. That's why they believe in things like white privilege and so forth. It's why they hate billionaires and all this other stuff, because they think that people are just given. Now, there are some people out there that were given generational wealth for sure, but it's a small percentage of people in the world. Okay. And then the next thing is that, like I said, women, like you just talked about, they're over empathetic. So what they will do is they'll sell out their country. Essentially, they'll sell out their men. They'll sell out the working class of citizens in order to create these social programs. So they'll steal resources from these people, these men that they don't consider to be alphas. Be like, oh, fuck it, whatever, they can pay for it, in order to promote these kind of crazy social fucking systems that essentially what they end up doing is entitling people so much. Like we just talked about, when you give people things for free, they just expect it. They no longer understand how to work for it, and they no longer cherish or value it. So that's why
share Max's comment down here. This is a good comment.
Instead of shooting our enemy, we should just try to understand them better and listen to their side. They have rights too. Yeah, all opinions are equal. You know that, John? All opinions are equal. Yeah, and in my space, everyone should feel comfortable to
my
share
truth. My truth. Yeah. Talk about my truth, not your truth.
Exactly.
There is no the truth.
Right. Whatever. Well, but let's go back to this. So what does masculinity do? What does a true masculine know how to do? Well, it knows how to read through the fucking understanding of women's programming of what they're trying to do. It
moves forward like a masculine mother grabber and leaves this blue pill shit behind and just does what it has to do.
Well, it's establishing boundaries.
Yep.
John. Exactly.
What's your frame?
The best boundary you could ever have is, especially with a woman, is using this one simple word. When you learn how to use this, it feels good. But when you first start using it, it feels so bad because you've been conditioned by mommy to never say this to women. The word is no. The word is no. So when a woman comes up to you and she says something along the lines of like, this is an equal relationship. No, it's not. It is not a fucking equal relationship. Not at all whatsoever. Like, I make the fucking rules, plain and simple, or else you walk. Okay. You know what I'm saying? That's her shit test. And that's where our society's gone wrong, is we've bought into this belief system of equality. It's like, no. Things are different.
And the idea that you're being mean, you're being an asshole. You're not. Like, you know how living your life is going to make you happy. These are the things this is my frame. Like, your frame is what makes you happy. That's where your source of happiness comes from. Like, living your life as in your frame. Like, if you betray your frame, like you're betraying yourself and your happiness. Like, you're putting yourself, even if whatever, I like watching football, but like she doesn't let me watch football on Monday nights or whatever. And now you've given up your frame on watching football on Monday nights. And soon you'll lose another night and another day, and then you won't go to games anymore. It'll just snowball until you don't even have the thing you used to love in your life. Exactly. And I'm not a whatever. I'm not saying you should sit around and watch stuff, but like things like that, like, things you enjoy or things you want to do with your life, the way you see your life and how you see your happiest life and happiest self. There's nothing wrong with you you shouldn't have to sacrifice that. You don't have to sacrifice that, especially for a woman. And
yeah, especially if she came into the relationship already knowing that you watch football on Monday nights.
And well, I mean, like, it's also because she's not the one. There are other women. Like, there will be somebody else who doesn't care. The next one will.
Or if you really want her in your life, you just be fucking man enough and be like, listen, I'm doing this. Go fucking sew.
Yeah.
Go over there and knit some shit. Or you can fucking sit here and you could root for my fucking team with me. Either or, like, shit's not changing. Yeah. You need to change. You need to change, not me. Right? And that's what men have a fucking tough time doing, because the blue pill conditioning is, I have to be nice, sweet.
You have to bow down to her and what she wants, and
or else
You
you're gonna
need to sacrifice. The man needs to sacrifice. You need to be sacrificial. You need to sacrifice yourself, your wants, your needs, your desires to make her happy because she's the prize. You're lucky to have her in your life.
right. And here's the other thing that let's talk about happiness, because when we don't have a masculine society and women have unfettered access to pursue whatever they feel is going to make them happy, women end up investing into all the wrong things, like promiscuity, like buying fucking unfucking oh man, like undisciplined amounts of fucking things, right? They'll go into debt. They'll overreach their expenses. They'll
Dogs,
invest and use their
cats,
identity as what's up.
trips abroad.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. They'll marry work. Work will become their life and their identity rather than their husband and their children. Right. And as we look at it, because let's talk about happiness, statistics have shown since feminism has become the mainstream within our society, female happiness has declined rapidly since the 1950s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny because women think that men putting these restrictions and boundaries on them make them feel enslaved. But actually, the funny thing is, it actually makes them feel secure, because women are their own worst enemies, honestly. When they're given unfettered access to pursue all of these fucking instant gratification type things, it shows that women are far less happy. So they need, just like children, unfortunately, you got to treat women like children. You do, right? You got to put boundaries on them. And when they fucking start to tiptoe up to those boundaries, guess what they need? They need strong reinforcement and discipline, right? So that's really what it comes down to. And the problem with our society today is that we haven't had, the last 3 generations of men have not been willing to, nor have they been taught, because it's not just men's fault. This is also what it comes down to when men are not mentored into masculinity through their forefathers, right?
They don't have any good examples.
Correct. Yep. So this is why it is 100% society's responsibility to train men on how to be men.
Have you watched, there's this new show on Netflix that I highly recommend you watch. And there's an ample supply of examples of just like alpha behavior and the things that certain guys can get away with. But there's a show called The Tiger King.
Oh shit. Yeah. I saw you posted that up.
Dude,
I need to check it out. I don't have
it's
Netflix.
wild. It's the wildest thing. These people who own big cats. It's nuts. It's like all of them have some kind of weird relationship life, whatever. It's nuts.
I love big cats. I want some big cats.
Yeah. It's crazy.
What does that say about my personality if I desire to have big cats?
I don't know. You got to watch the show. You might end up growing a mullet. Oh
fuck yeah, dude! That guy looks fucking hella cool though. The guy that you posted up in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I wish I could live my life that up unapologetically. Just like fuck it.
He had something like 200 tigers or some shit. He had two husbands.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's not cool. But he's sitting next to a super hot ass chick though. In that photo. Yeah. She was babe. Total babe.
There's another guy who had he had like 6 girlfriends or something.
See, that's more my style.
Yeah. He's like the famous guy that supplies a lot of Hollywood with a lot of the animals.
Tigers.
It's a good watch, man. I'm telling you.
All right, it's called The Tiger King.
Yep, and put on your red pill lens as you're watching. You'll notice some things.
I can't watch anything without a red pill lens. Like last night, what did I watch last night?
That's probably why I was thinking about it the whole time. Like it's a little bit of a spoiler if you don't mind, but
go ahead.
There's this other guy who was a tiger. He was a rich guy. He owned tigers, and he had wife and 2 kids, but he ended up leaving them for a younger woman or whatever. But he was he was just a ladies' man. He was a rich guy. He always was out with girls, checking and doing shit with other girls. But you kind of see just like the narrative of like, somebody who would dare Or they're talking about the guy with the girlfriends. The guy with the girlfriend. They're like somebody how these people must be in a cult. It must be a cult or some kind of weird whatever to live that type of life. Like they have to paint this narrative because they couldn't do it or they are not into it or they don't like it, that it has to be evil or a cult. He's got some kind of spell on the women involved.
Yeah, I
And
love that. Holy shit. It's
and
so
I,
funny.
and I kind of, and it's strange to me because it's like, okay, well, they're grown women who I thought women are supposed to be smart and intelligent and
Mhm,
strong.
mhm.
So you're
And make
telling
their own
me,
choices.
yeah, I make no, so like
Right.
you're telling me that these women, they're either dumb or they're brainwashed. Like he has some kind of magical spell on them. He makes them drink a potion, or what? He's holding a gun to their head. He's got their relatives like rigged to explode, and they have to be there. Like I don't understand that argument. But when I was younger, I would have been like, oh yeah, totally. That's a bad
Yep.
person, and
Yep.
he's
Yep.
done something to them.
Until you've undergone some level of masculine initiation that opens you up to these red pill truths. Do you stop like that? You buy into that blue pill ideal. That's essentially what it comes down to. That's the boy who is trying to protect the mother. I watched this movie yesterday because one of my favorite books is Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. So I was
Yep, I
like, huh,
read
I
that in
wonder if
high school.
love that book. Love that book. Dude, Game Warden, I don't know if you saw this in the beginning, but we were talking about the Georgia Guidestones. He keeps telling me to Google them. We talked about the Georgia Guidestones at the beginning of the what's it called? At the beginning of the episode. So thank you. So tomorrow is Game Warden wants you to know that tomorrow is the 40th birthday of the Georgia Guidestones.
Mm.
Google it, dum dums. This guy's fucking nuts. Oh my bad. He'll tell you how to make your own colloidal silver too, by the way.
Oh, great. There was some picture going around of some guy who used to drink that stuff. He drank that
Blue
stuff his
guy.
whole life and he's all
Yeah.
blue. I'm not drinking that
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, you can't drink that much. That's kind of
Oh my
crazy.
goodness. He drank it his
Cats
whole
are more
life, going
masculine
blue.
creatures than dogs. Dogs become dependent and will follow an alpha. Cats will not follow you no matter how alpha. I disagree. I think this is the cats are definitely feminine. Cats are definitely feminine if you really look at it. But I can understand what you're talking about because there are alpha dogs. There are dogs that, although they'll bow down to the master, that's the only person that they'll serve is their master, so to speak, right? So I think cats are far more feminine because their behavior is definitely like a what is deemed as like an alpha female, which I would consider more to be like toxic femininity than anything, right? Of like this kind of like lethal, independent type of deal. But the reality is, those cats are still dependent. They're still dependent on you to feed them. They've entered some type of codependent relationship with you, but then they'll act like they don't need you. That to me is toxic relationship. So that's why I argue that. Yeah, but he drank a
I'm gonna
quart
go
per
science
day.
on you. Took a science quart of that. Holy
He
Jesus.
drank a quart a day, and it was silver nitrate rather than colloidal solution. Yeah, I bet. I got you. I see what you're saying. Because colloidal silver, they do recommend that you drink it daily, but you drink like a half a milliliter per 100 pounds of body weight or something like that. So yeah,
So I will say to the cat and dog argument that no, neither one of them is masculine or feminine. They're two separate species that have a masculine behavior pattern for the males and a female behavior pattern for the
I see what you're
feminine.
saying.
And
But if you
yeah,
drew like
the
a meta
dogs.
narrative,
mm, there's all kinds of ways to weave it and make it
sure,
represent. You
yeah,
could tell a story about a wolf mother, and that's you put doing whatever feminine shit the wolf mother's doing. You could do one of the wolf father,
yep,
you could do one of the lion and the whatever. Like there's
yeah.
ways to tell a tale.
I agree. I agree with you. Yeah, it's all archetypal in a way too, where you can
Uh,
kind of blend the lines and all that
mhm.
other good stuff. Fuck, what were we talking about before we got on all the fucking colloidal silver and all that shit? Oh yeah, a Brave New World or Brave New World. There we go. Look at that fucking
It's a
memory I got there,
brave
guys.
new world.
So I watched the movie last night, which was loosely based on the book. But I liked watching it because it showed the difference between the different levels of beta. even though they had alphas and betas and omegas and sigmas and gammas and epsilons within their society. So go ahead and watch that movie. I liked it. Like you talk about watching things through a red pill lens. I can't watch movies without having a red pill lens and being like,
Dude,
oh,
Peter
this is where that's
Pan.
from.
Oh my God. Fucking,
Oh
I
shit.
watched Hook. I watched Hook the other night with my kids.
Great movie, by the way. Great movie.
Dude, it is. I forgot how it's been a long time, and I
It's
couldn't
such
help
a good
it.
movie.
I couldn't help but watch it through a red pill lens. And so, like, Robin Williams' character was Peter Pan, and he kept coming back to visit Wendy, and Wendy was the old chick, right? So Wendy was like the girl that was like his girlfriend when he was young and screwing around and couldn't settle down. And then she got old and too old for her, and she ended up marrying some beta provider, having a kid, and then her kid had a kid, and then Peter Pan fell in love with her granddaughter.
Yep.
And then he married her and became a normal person and grew up, and then came back. And then when he was back in Neverland, like Tinkerbell made a move on him and kissed him. She made herself big.
Yeah.
And kissed him or whatever, and he kind of rejected her. But like, she's like the party chick that he used to bang when he was back on Neverland, right? So it's like, I don't know. You see the different like stages of the girls in their range, right? So there's like the party girl. Tink was like, he wasn't serious about her. She's just a party girl. Don't behave like Tink.
Right.
You had
note how she's like a butterfly too, right?
Yeah. You
the
have
girls that are obsessed with butterflies float. Yeah, I'm a free spirit. She goes and fucks everybody, and yeah, I got you. I see where you're going with it. Yeah,
and then you have the girl who's young and pure and innocent, and he falls in love with her,
but she's going to steal your fucking masculinity from you.
Commit to her.
Yeah.
But then the older girl,
masculinity, his youth, his boyhood. Yeah,
the friend Wendy was like running around with him. They were in the friend zone. She was acting like a boy, doing stuff with Peter on Neverland. So like there was no real interest there for him either. So like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was just me or if you could see that. You got to rewatch it and see if you can kind of pick up on those.
I feel you. Ooh, going back to Brave New World. Like, I recommend you watch.
Wendy was post wall.
Yeah, exactly. And then she's trying to like put all these kind of crazy.
But she's also an alpha widow.
I was just about to talk about that. Yeah, exactly. You want to talk about prime. So going back to Brave New World of what I just watched, you guys want to talk about a prime example of a woman being alpha widowed, right? So in this movie, Brave New World, Jonathan is a savage, right? He lives off of civilization. But his mother, who's now an alcoholic and crazy and all this other stuff, when she was young, she was seduced by an alpha who was on the border wall. And she got knocked up by him. And then the alpha from civilization like threw her back to the savages, so to speak. And then she ended up she was like a single mom. And then she was considered a whore in the savage world and passed around. And she hooked up with all these dudes around her young son. And then her young son, Jonathan, kept taking care of her and held her in this high regard and was like sacrificial and continued to like quote Shakespeare and believed in true love and all this other crazy stuff. And it was just, she ended up killing herself because she ended up seeing the mother ended up killing herself with Soma because she ended up re-meeting the alpha that alpha widowed her. So essentially what it comes down to is you get to see like the path of a woman who's alpha widowed, like in real time. And what happens to a woman who's alpha widowed when the alpha leaves and how she just goes on this path of destruction and like destroying herself. Fucking absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. I was just like sitting there watching this through this like red pill lens of like what we're talking about right now. And it was just fucking amazing. It was an amazing, amazing movie to watch. I'm just like, God damn, this is fucking so cool. People should watch this movie and study it. Oh yeah, Hook was fucking awesome. Goddamn Rufio. Oh. Right? Crazy.
I had to force the kids to watch it.
Why? Are you serious?
I mean, they don't know. They just they see a picture. They don't see a whatever. And I made them watch a preview and then.
Yeah. Did they end up liking it?
They say, I know they loved it because they're like fixated at the screen, but there's like kissing, like somebody kisses twice or something and they're boo. So they scream boo when there's kissing.
Yeah.
So like they say it's terrible because there's kissing in it, but
Yeah.
they liked it. They loved it.
I watched that movie over and over and over as a kid.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
over and over and over. Great movie. Fuck.
Yeah.
I always
Big Robin Williams fan.
Oh, yeah, me too. Absolutely. Fucking crazy tragic about that guy too, honestly. I wonder what the story was behind him.
Autoerotic asphyxiation is one of the theories.
I don't think so. I think he was truly sad and depressed. I don't know.
Hmm.
There's man, yeah, who knows? We can only speculate. That's all we do know is that we can only
Mhm.
speculate.
Mhm.
Oh, man. What else you got for me, John Fitch? I'm out of topics.
Oh man, well, I've done a number of podcasts. I did a podcast with Bitcoin Bella the other day, and I have a podcast coming out in a few days with Jack Donovan. Um,
Oh, cool.
yeah, that was really cool. I'm reading his book right now, The
Which
Way of
one?
Men.
Yeah, I own all
Uh,
3 of them.
Yeah, and he talks about. I own 2 of his books. I'm just working on that first one now, but he talks about how men have lost like the ability to be good at being men.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing. So I'm actually working on a masculinity mastery course.
There you go.
So I'm going to try to put something like that together. I'm also, taking advantage of the time at home, and I'm going to try to do a free neck care course.
Yep.
So there's a lot of people I know that have neck problems. I had neck problems, and I've had to do a lot of work to kind of mitigate it and make it tolerable. So I'm gonna kind of just share what I do and give it out to give it out to people for free. They'll have to sign up for the mailing list to get it though. But I've got to put
I
that
started
together,
watching.
and
Go ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, I just got to put that together and put some videos together to show people how to do some of the exercises and stretches.
I started watching some because obviously I can't go to jujitsu right now.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the fact that I can't go to jujitsu right now. So I woke up and I was like, man, there's some moves that I'm rusty on that I need to like research and kind of get. This is one thing I know about jujitsu. I don't know if you know the same thing, but because I've done enough jujitsu now, if I watch jujitsu, I can like in my mind and my body, like I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Like I can do jujitsu just by watching jujitsu. I know that sounds like it sounds woo woo.
Well,
It's not the same.
you
It's
can
not the
do
same
it
by any means, but
thinking it too. You can imagine yourself through it, and you'll get the
right.
same motor neuron like response thinking it
Yeah.
and visualization through the techniques. That works
Yep.
also.
I used to see movement. I used to see moves all the time when I'd meditate. I'd be like, oh my God, that's awesome. I'm going to try that next time.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. So I started watching that stuff. And all of a sudden this video pops up or this ad pops up. And it was from Modern Barbarian or something like that. I don't know if you've seen this ad pop up in any fight. What's it called? But Modern Barbarian's promoting this video course from this fucking former special operations Marine, John, something Black, something like that, or whatever the fuck his name is. And he's going to teach you how to be able to fight without having to go to any of these dojos, like for real street fights and all this other stuff. I don't know if you've seen any of that shit, any of the ads for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I wish. So I looked it up real quick and I looked up some reviews very quickly. And I came across this guy, Hard to Hurt. Have you seen this guy's stuff at all?
Mm-hmm.
I needed a full review on all this stuff. But the reason why I brought it up is because, I essentially started thinking about like multiple attackers and all this other different stuff and, how to get through all that shit. And I just started watching some videos on it today and seeing that there's some training courses out there that are just complete fucking bullshit. And you can mostly find this stuff on YouTube as well if you start Googling and looking those things up. So then I started looking these things up on YouTube and they started putting these warnings ahead of the videos of like, this stuff may not be content that you want to view or should be watching or stuff like that. Do you agree to go here? I was like, just for basic self-defense movements. How crazy is that? That YouTube is like censoring and blocking that type of stuff.
Hmm.
Crazy. But I know that you're coming out with your own course as well for Smash.
Yeah, well, I put that on the back burners a little bit because I'm focusing on I was focusing on the seminars, but also I wanted to build up my email list before I put together the course, because I'm going to put some money into the course.
Yeah.
It doesn't do me any good to put money into the course and then not have anybody to send it to or sell it to. So I'm working on building that email list and then building up some of my other social media stuff now. Doing a lot of podcasts.
Yeah. I've learned, obviously, because I have 2 books pushed out right now, and I put a lot of energy in trying to market for this last book. And I realized, sales are just whatever. I've probably only sold about 100 copies of this new book, maybe a little bit more. I haven't checked in a couple of days, but it's like, man, that's kind of like, that can take the wind out of your sails really quick when you put in a lot of effort into something that you think is just absolutely valuable. And then you don't have anybody, I'm not trying to say that there's nobody. I mean, right now there's 8 people watching, but it's like, you want to have like a mass impact, or at least for the group of people that you're trying to attract. And then you push out this product, and literally, because really what it comes down to is, with that email list as well, if you're good, you're getting a 10% conversion rate. If you're good, you're getting a 10, like, that's good numbers. So you'll have again, if you have 1,000 people on your mailing list, 100 people will purchase. So it's like, fuck, the hardest part about everything that we're doing right now, and this is where it's kind of sad and scary with being throttled and all this other shit, is you're sitting here and you're trying to grow and you're trying to like attract more and more people over to your mission, your brand, your message, all this other stuff. And then you got all these things that are just in your way that fucking like can throttle you and make it so that you don't grow.
Yeah, well, one thing we can do is you can download these episodes off of YouTube.
Really?
And then you can upload them to like Facebook and make a page.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I, as the creator, can download them.
Yep.
Yeah. Have you tried doing BitChute at all?
I mean, it's just too many platforms for me.
Yeah. I feel you.
And there's
not a lot of people on BitChute either.
Yeah.
It's just not.
It's just.
And then
I just gave up the idea of YouTube being a place where I was going to make money from ads or anything. And it's mostly just to drive people to mailing list.
Yep.
Right. And then I'm also starting to upload more videos to Instagram for the IGTV.
Are you seeing good returns on Instagram?
I'm getting more views.
Okay.
And a lot more views and more impressions than I do putting it up on YouTube.
No kidding. Yeah, I need to get working on that stuff, man. I think that's going to be my biggest push right now in isolation, is not so much creating more content, but instead focusing on which platform to invest in and then building up from there. It's tough though, man. It's tough.
And I have somebody helping me now.
Yeah. I need to, I could really use some help in that department, in all honesty. I'm kind of like a one-man show at this point in time, and it's kind of
that's what I was doing for too long, and it's just too hard. Now I have somebody who she posts all my stuff. She approves, the content ahead of time, but like she's the one that
on her Instagram she has your website as well. I think, or is that her? I don't remember.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, she's taken a lot of the DMs and scheduling she's helping with the seminar stuff, but she's doing the scheduling for my podcasts and other interviews and stuff I'm doing too. So it keeps me organized, and then I don't have to fucking do that, and now I can just focus on creating stuff and making videos. And yeah,
that's good, man. You got a good
zone.
I think we probably met up, or we first got in contact with one another probably 8 months ago, and this
Something
is
like that.
First started to get into the red pill space, and you didn't have too much going on. And like, dude, you're killing it right now, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I've kind of been feeling out the market and seeing like where I can fit in and help out. And because it's like, Well, like having the confidence to see yourself as an expert in some areas,
Mhm.
and compared to a lot of the guys who I would be helping, like
Mhm.
just the basic, some of the basic knowledge that I have is expert level to them, and it's
Right,
going to
right.
help them immensely.
Good.
Yeah.
So Fitch Smash is kind of on hold, but masculinity training is going to be the next thing that you kind of produce
hmm
on
And
top of.
I've already set up like through Facebook and stuff appointments, like an appointment thing. So I'm going to be doing like 30-minute calls with people.
Good. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Um, cool. So that's what you kind of have going on. Everything we can find about you right now at this point in time is on johnfitch.net.
Yep, johnfish.net. Sign up for the mailing list, and you'll get more updates with all the other shit I'm doing. Really,
Cool. Cool, cool, cool. You got any last words for anybody here?
no, just be ready. Be ready. Hopefully, this is gonna be fine. But like get some beans, get some rice.
Get a
You know,
slingshot.
yeah,
Get a slingshot.
slingshot. Get your rifle. Make
Mhm,
sure it's ready. You know where it's at. You know where the keys are.
mhm.
Yeah.
Good stuff. As far as me, guys, you all know what's going on. You can find everything in the description below, as well as everything for John Fitch as well. Main things that I'd like for you guys to look into is obviously number one, go and check out my new book, which I put in a different location, so I can't show you it on the screen right now. It's on Amazon. You can see it in the top right corner, Purging Feminism. So Patriarch's Vision, Purging Feminism. Also, every Sunday, yeah, there you go, right above John Fitch's finger. Um, Also, every Sunday, I do a webinar with my WarTribe crew. And as a matter of fact, I must admit this. The members of WarTribe, we called this stuff weeks ago, meaning like 5 weeks or more ago, that this is the way that events were going to turn out. We've been calling it the entire time. And men in that group have been getting mentally, physically, emotionally prepared for what is coming down the pike as well. Every Sunday, I do a 2-hour to 3-hour long webinar with these guys. And obviously, we have a forum and a chat group where we communicate frequently and daily. So, if you are in quarantine right now and you're having a tough time because you're pretty much isolated, you're emotionally isolated, and you have no means of really connecting with people, please do consider joining the War Tribe right now. You'll have direct access to myself and 50 other men that are in the space of getting better and making themselves the best version of man they can be. So check that out at www.thewartribe.com. Those are the only two things I'm going to shill. If you'd like to buy anything else or look at anything else having to do with Corey Capella, please do visit www.coreycapella.com. With that said, John Fitch and I are out, and we will be with you again next.
Hold on. Max is asking if I'm doing private lessons. Yeah, I'm doing I can do private lessons on the phone, online private lessons. Yeah, reach out.
Good stuff. Reach out to him, johnfitch.net, right?
Yep.
For that, to reach
Yep.
out to.
Jumpfish.net.
Get a survival flashlight. Cool. Good stuff. All right, guys. Until next week, we'll be seeing you. Adios.
Laters.